What's up guys, Kayla here, welcome back to another game on the Gwenology account. This time we are in the jungle. I got a lot of requests to actually play Gwen in the jungle, so here we go. Runes should be on screen now, and the first thing you're going to do in the jungle every single game, no matter what camp you start, is hit a blast cone, whether it be on red or blue side. This gives you one extra Q stack, so you can do auto Q instantly. And real quick, I'm just fixing my settings here, because for some reason, when I logged onto my account, all of my settings got reset, so figured I would skip the start of me scrambling to fix every single setting. For like the first 60 seconds, I was just fumbling through them, trying to remember what I took. But we're just gonna let our jungle passive finish the blue buff there. We're gonna spike the Gromp, because Gwen is very good at clearing multi-target camps, but she's very bad at clearing the single target ones early. So we're gonna use our smites more on the single targets rather than Krugs or Wolves, stuff like that. And then we are up against Shaco this game, and to tell you the truth, there's not really a good matchup for Gwen jungle because of the way I play her. As you guys saw on the runes, I run First Strike, and then we also were running Free Boots, Futures Market, Cosmic Insight, Sudden Impact Ultimate Hunter. Usually that Ultimate Hunter is Treasure Hunter, but I just wanted to test it out. Along with Attack Speed, Adaptive, HP Scaling. Real quick, I'm going to try to counter gank here, and it is going to go the worst possible way it can. And this is one of the downsides to Gwen jungle. She is very, very weak early. Even if I have Conqueror there, she does not win that. She's very close to Mastery, where it's like, let me scale, sacrifice early objectives, sacrifice my teammates' lanes. As long as I get to 2 to 3 items, I'm gonna carry this. But the thing about solo queue is that your teammates will really not enjoy that. And here's one of the other downsides to Gwen jungle. You are very, very invade prone. So we're going to get the Warwick sent on us. We're going to get Shaco daggered, and he's gonna even flash for us. We're gonna get feared. Thankfully, we're just barely gonna survive that. Now, that is not a Shaco specific thing or a Warwick top specific thing. A Lee Sin can do that to us. A Kayn could do that to us with his walk through walls effect. She's just very, very prone to dying early. She's very fragile in the jungle. Even down there, I'm typing like, what is that? But that's actually a very good play. This game, I don't know why, but there were a couple, what was it, Smurfs? I believe it was Warwick, Ari, and the Clown. And they were all just typing in Korean. And I know it's Korean because after the game I added the Ari. Double kill for Smolder, unfortunately. And then this is just what we're going to be doing. We're going to cycle our camps, we're going to smite the Gromp. So this isn't really the most flashy way of winning, but it's very, very consistent past 25 minutes. If you lose the game before 25 minutes, well, your team should have held out longer. Yeah, we're just going to auto the camps here. And then, sorry this took so long to come out. I had a lot of problems posting this. My recording software crashed when it was exporting, and it did not save my progress, like all the work I did. And then I also got sick over the weekend. You guys might hear it still a little bit, but I'm good enough to do a voiceover. Alright, we're gonna do the Raptors here, and then what I like to do is sneak for Void Grubs, because while they aren't free, a lot of jungle players are willing to just concede them. As you guys saw right there, I did get the shield because this was on patch 14.6. So this game is technically harder for me because they have the unnerfed Smolder, who gets the 225 stack passive rather than 275. Alright, we're going to clear Gromps, or Krugs for the first time here. And then as you guys saw, I only took one of the Grubs. Jeez. I only took one of the Grubs, because I was a little worried about Warwick coming down. The first one also gives the most XP out of the 3, so just really good to take one and dip. And then right here, we're going to look for a gank on the Warwick. We're going to activate our first strike, get a lot of extra damage. And then we realize that Shaco actually went and did 2, so we got to get out of here. It's going to try to run us down. Tiamat does not kill us, thankfully. And our Rise will unfortunately go down instead of us. But yeah, at this point, I was feeling very frustrated. I thought the enemy team just had a UAV on me and they could see everywhere that I could. It was just very, very unfortunate. And then Warwick tries to run me down, so I have to walk back even more and recall there. And now we can talk about more about the build for this, because it's very different to laning phase Gwen. I really, really enjoy Shadow Flame into Lichbane in the jungle, because we are just playing as a one-shot assassin. We are looking for no sustain at all in fights, and we're looking to line up needles to just get a lot of first strike income and multi-kills. This is a very difficult strategy to adjust to because you don't have any sustain in any fights, but your damage is absolutely insane when you go with these items, and you spike so much quicker due to the fact that first strike is just letting you get extra economy every single time you fight. And you also use your W to protect your first strike. So normally you would use your W to defend against like the strongest CC ability on the enemy team, or just high resistances, but no, you use W at the start of the fights to make sure that your first strike always activates. But again, we're just gonna cycle camps here. I was kind of worried about not having enough time to talk about Gwen jungle, but as you guys can see on that bar on YouTube, it is a very long game. Alright, we're gonna unfortunately get Shaco boxed. And then my team, for some reason, starts the dragon. I'm really not down to try to contest that. This is another thing, you just concede a lot of stuff as Gwen jungle. Like, whatever the enemy jungle wants, you have to give. But you can't let them do it for free. As you saw, like, early game, we got one Void Grub because we just had to take something on the map so that our team wouldn't get upset, and we need to make sure that we don't fall even further behind because our early game is not the greatest due to the botched mid lane gank. And then right now, my goal right now is to reset on 1250. I believe after Krugs, we will just barely miss the mark. So I'm thinking we can maybe go do another play somewhere. This is what I'm talking about as well. It's like, I know Shaco's on Dragon, so I can either go for a top lane gank, I can go for an invade on enemy camps. I see Warwick's HP bar, and I think I've seen too many times Warwick with like 100 HP left just absolutely go to full HP and survive, so I'm willing to just take the entire side of the enemy blue buff, or the enemy blue buff side. So we're going to take blue buff there, we're going to look at wolves, try to take those. And then look, my Ahri roams bot for no reason at all. She should have just pushed mid. But this is what I'm talking about. It's like your team is, no matter what, is going to try to focus these objectives. At most, all you can do is back ping because you really can't afford to fight early. Like, look, I am not strong at all. I'm sitting on 1,250 gold for a large rod. I know Shaco's running back to his blue side, and I know Warwick's on the way as well. So my goal here is to just take one and then dip. But thankfully get the wall jump off, but Warwick's going to hold his Q and then get his own. Alright, but that is okay. We finally have enough for the large rod. And then I'm thinking, where do I go next? To my Gromp, to my Wolves, wherever I can get fast, guaranteed economy. I don't want to look for these jungle ganks just yet. Once I get Shadow Flame, then I can start looking, but since I'm behind, I might even delay it a bit longer. One thing that will happen as well when you play this strategy is if your lanes start falling behind, you are going to get a lot of enemy bounties. So we also fell behind this game, so just everyone on the enemy team except Thresh has at least a 150 gold bounty or higher. And everyone on my team wanted to surrender. I even wanted to surrender. The only reason that this game continued was because it was for a YouTube video, so I just was willing to hit no and see where it played out. There's a massive fight right here. I'm trying to look for a way to engage that so I can get a lot of hits for my first strike, but nothing comes out of it. Ari's typing in a language I can't understand. She's probably saying FF15. But we're just going to stick to our plan. We're going to try to scale up to about 1 to 2 items, and then we can look for one of the bounties. And right here I see Pantheon half HP. He's definitely overstaying. I don't know why he's so determined to get one plate. But since he used his E, we are able to get the 600 gold shutdown, and this gives us a win con. Alright, we're gonna clear the Raptors here. Yeah, just so many bounties on the enemy team. If we're just able to collect a couple, we can totally carry this game, because this is the power of the build. If you could just accelerate your economy in any way at all, you're gonna win 9 out of 10 games. So we're gonna use our futures market for the first time this game in order to get Sork shoes. So we have, what is it? We have 12 magic pen from our Shadow Flame, and then 18 from our Sorks. So we just reset and got 30 magic pen on top of our sudden impact that gives 7. So we have 37 magic pen in the perfect world where we get our full combo off, which is just a massive spike. And then if the target is below, what is it? I believe it's 35%. We start critting on our abilities, and that's a 20% damage increase. So if the target is below that threshold and we combo them, the first strike gold is going to be that much more. Hey. And then while we're rotating over to the next fight, I would like to just let it be known, like, I do see the jungle, or like the Gwen spreadsheet comments in every one of my videos. I'm thinking putting like a sub count behind it, so like at 6,000 subs I'll release that, because it is a lot of it would be a lot of work, because it's just me going through a spreadsheet or Google Doc just typing out what to do into all the lanes. So I feel like if we can get me to 6,000 subs, I'm willing to sit down and spend one of my days just writing on a document for you guys on what to do. And then also we'd probably just redo the tier list video. I don't know why, but those always do the best, so I'm not opposed to making another one, and then once we hit 6,000 subs, I do the spreadsheet for you guys. Alright, but we tried looking top, didn't really find much. Gonna secure the dragon. And this is why I like Nashers, Shadow Flame over Nashers. You are able to burst camps down. So that makes it much harder for the enemy jungle to steal objectives for you, because your burst damage is just so much higher that you can smite combo it down with your 4-stack Q into smite. Alright, and then they are going to look on my team in the mid lane. I'm going to just look for this Pantheon first. I accidentally hit the clone, but we're thankfully going to pick up the Pantheon. I would have loved to pick up that Shaco kill as well, but unfortunately we hit the wrong one. I see Thresh is looking for an engage here. I want to go in, but I saw the Warwick. You have to be very, very careful with this build, because, like I said earlier, you are a glass cannon. You have no sustain in fights, but you have all the damage in the world. So you need to make sure that you get your damage off and that you can walk out safely. Or if you do die in the fight, that you take at least 3 people or more with you. Alright, Smolder's gonna stay in the mid lane with Thresh. Even now I'm looking for potentially Thresh, because Smolder's pretty hard to kill. He has his E and he has Thresh Lantern. So I'm figuring, why not just go for the person that would help Smolder escape? I honestly should have gone in right there. But then the Pantheon comes into the bush as well. And it's just disaster. I also wall bonked there. I didn't notice I wall bonked. Right. But yeah, next we're going Lich Bane. Movement speed is OP, so just getting a little bit extra from the Lich Bane for 8% movement speed. It's going to help out a lot when we press Ghost. It's going to help out just rotating around the map when there's nothing to do. Unfortunately, my Ahri's going to get caught and die. Ryze might get sniped by that. Thankfully, missing. But yeah, at this point, the surrender vote gets popped. I hit no because this is for YouTube. And even though I really don't want to play this game right now, I figured, you know what, it's going to end in 3 more minutes or so, and then I'll be free. Alright, right here, enemy team's going to go in on Yasuo. I'm going to look for the Smolder here, and just look at all the damage I'm able to deal. Unfortunately, we're not strong enough to finish them off yet with our build. Yeah, so unfortunate. They were all so low. I would have loved to collect all those bounties. But yeah, it is 19-4, 1 dragon to 1 dragon, and they have 4 Void Grubs, I believe. Yeah, 4 right there. Alright, we're just gonna keep clearing our camps. And then while we're just AFK farming, there's a lot of different areas you can start in the jungle on Gwen. You are very fragile early, so it's good to make sure that they don't know where you start. So you can start like wolves and raptors, actually, so long as you hit the blast cone. You can also start red buff solo, blue buff solo. You can literally start anywhere in the jungle. But you just need to always be aware of to hit that blast cone at the start so that you have the extra Q stack. It just helps with your AoE clearing on the wolves and raptors, and then just a little bit extra damage on the single target camps as well. What you guys saw there on the blue buff as well is I used my W to make sure I didn't get hit at all. It also increases your jungle tick damage, but that doesn't really come up too much, just when you're trying to be super optimal with your clear and heal as much as you can. My Yasuo is going to look for a fight there. I'm not willing to take it. Even then, there, my Ahri goes in. Like, I'm willing to snag one of the bounties if available, but I'm not trying to force any fights right now. And unfortunately, I get called out by the Warwick, so I'm forced to use my R. And then again, they continued to fight. My Yasuo's 0-4 bot, my Lulu's 0-2, and then my Ahri's 2-5. Just nobody's doing well. Even 0-7-0 Ryze in the top lane. I am performing as well as I can. Right. Level 11. And then we're going to clear Krugs. I believe we reset after this. Should be a, what's it called? Hextech Alternator and Glowing Moat. Oh no, so I know that I'm the carry this game, so I try taking those. Even though I don't get the last hits, I get the XP. Because after 20 minutes, you no longer have the XP debuff that junglers get. And then I'm thinking about going into debt here, just because we are so far behind that we need as much strength as we can, even though it's a physical damage bonus from the Sheen proc. Just any way to get any strength is glorious. Again, clear Raptors. Just look how fast Shadow Flame allows me to clear these camps. Like, yeah, you would get your Q up a little bit faster, but it just does not compare to a 4-stack Q from Shadowflame. On jungle objectives like Void Grubs and Dragons, it is very comparable. I believe it's very close to the same time for clear speed wise on them. But just the smite execute range, like your smite combo is so much higher. We're gonna Ghost here, look for the Smolder, the Thresh. When I see Smolder uses E, I think, okay, they're gonna commit Thresh Lantern for the escape, so I focus the Thresh instead, and we are gonna go down before we throw our final needle set, unfortunately. Ari's gonna get flashed on, and Smolder E'd, unfortunately go down, but we now have the Lich Bane. And this was the 2-item spike I was talking about. So we now have a potential 37 magic pen when we dash, on top of a enhanced auto attack from Lich Bane, and we run faster at them due to the Lich Bane movement speed. So if we can hit them before they hit us, they are going to explode, and we're going to get an extra like 150 gold. And that will let us rush into our decap, Crypt Bloom if we need. Yeah, look at all of these bounties. Unfortunately, get Shaco boxed.
I remember when she sewed my dress with these scissors. Now they cut a different cloth.
Alright, and then we're just looking to clear vision here. There's not really much to do for me right now because all my camps are down. Lulu's looking for a flank here. Unfortunately, we're going to run over a ward. This entire game just felt very, very hard because it seriously felt like the enemy team was on a permanent UAV. Or they had a permanent UAV. Like, from the beginning of the game. We're going to clear that before Shaco can steal it from us. Then at this point, the enemy team is just trying to look for a way to end this game. They have all of the tools necessary to just one-shot the tower, but they're just a little scared of me, or maybe Ari and me. See Thresh Lantern go down. I see Smolders right here on the left-hand side, so we are going to all-in him and finally collect the Smolder kill. That is 1,000 extra gold in my pocket. And this is the turning point of the game to where it's somewhat winnable. Ryze is going to use his ult to get to the Baron faster. We're just going to instantly clear this. This is where Gwen shines. You get 1 to 2 bounties, and you are able to just take over the game. You have to sacrifice so much in the early game, but this is the payoff. Just look at that. We got, what, an extra 1,600 gold? That fight because we collected those bounties. We get the Baron, we get Scuttle, and now we are finally strong enough to contest objectives. We just got 140 extra AP from our first strike and from the bounties. It's super, super strong. Alright, and then right here, I'm going to clear the blue buff because past 20 minutes, the blue buff will be shared to the entire team rather than just you and one ally, or just you on the first clear. Then I just see Thresh here. I see the clown right there to my left-hand side, but it does not matter. Plus 140 extra gold from first strike. We're going to one-shot the Warwick as well, collect 800 off him. Now, this game is not over, but this game is definitely our favorite now. And then, I was talking about how good Gwen's smite combo is, but we unfortunately screwed ours up, so Shaco gets the dragon instead of us. At this point, though, I do not care about winning through dragons. I just want to win through one team fight. That is all I'm looking for. 1 9 needle into the enemy team, and that's pentakill. And at this point, we're just going to clear more jungle objectives and jungle camps. And this is about to be one of the strongest resets of the game. We're going to use our Barret Empowered Reset to get a decap and a 10-stack Magi's. We have 644 AP. Now, I really don't like decap on normal Gwen, because I just don't think her ratios are high enough to warrant getting more AP than like 500 or so. But with this build, it is so important to get the high AP numbers. Right here, I'm looking for an engage and just look. Throw out next set. Now, the reason I threw Needle 1 is because when you hit the opponent, your first strike activates, and you have 3 seconds to use your first strike income, or your first strike proc. Oh, right here, we're going to finish the Warwick, get a Quadra. But you have 3 seconds to combo, right, and collect your first strike gold. So you never get to the 5 needle throw. So I throw set 1, and then set 2 and 3 will still be in that 3-second threshold, because they come up 1 second in between each other. And we're just going to absolutely dunk this tower. Almost one-shot him as well. And then I want to stay for the inhib, but I know that we can't. But we're going to just go do Raptors and Red Buff for our Zanyas as our final item. Typically, when you're this far ahead, you can go whatever you want. But when you are far ahead, you should always go for defensive items, because you don't need more damage, right? I absolutely one-shot the enemy team. We don't need much more power than that. $875 AP. And we also have 1,000 first strike gold or so. It shows the damage right there, not the money. So I actually don't know how much we have right there. But we've spent about 1,000 or so first strike gold, which means we have a permanent, what's it, plus 90 AP active. So it's like we have Conqueror plus, like we have 2 Conquerors active, basically. We're going to one-shot the Pantheon here, we're going to kill the Smolder, we're going to run down the Thresh. And we are going to try to get this mid inhib here. And then I see Shaco stop the wave, unfortunately, or the wave stopped Shaco. And I'm thinking, okay, let's coin flip this. We have Void Grub, so we can look for the end, and they just do not do enough. Thankfully, my Lulu saves me here. I use my Zanyas as well when we got very, very low. But I thought the tower damage would be so much more with Void Grubs. I was willing to flip the coin. It did not work out, so we cannot end the game. But we are looking to end this game as fast as possible, because the only way I get stronger this game is selling my Sork Shoes for a Cosmic Drive. Now, that's not required, but it's just extra AP. We care about AP because First Strike gets its damage amp. Alright, and my team's unfortunately going to get caught out. It's just me and Yasuo left. Now, I'm thinking that the enemy team might siege, but at the time, I don't think I noticed the super minion all the way in the enemy base. Poor Pantheon. Look at that damage. Plus 155 gold. But yeah, if you guys are willing to adjust to this playstyle, I think this is very, very strong for climbing. Because the lower ELO you are, the longer the games are. This game right here is around Plat Emerald ELO. And look, it's already a 30-minute game. So if I'm having 30-minute games, you guys will be having 40-minute games. And that is going to be so beneficial to you guys. Enemy team's going to get the Ocean. But that does not matter, because Ocean helps in extended fights and trades. This is a burst build. We're gonna one-shot them through their Ocean Drake healing.
Mountains beyond the cliffs,
Smolder's gonna go collect the mid wave, and I see Shaco there, I see Warwick, I see Pantheon. I know my damage here, and I know that no matter what they do, they can never get to the Baron in time. And there it goes. Weird there, the Baron pulled me after it was dead.
Cutting them down.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright, and then we're gonna look for an engage on the Pantheon here. Unfortunately missed the Pantheon, but look at the damage we did to Shaco. Smolder's unfortunately heavily stacked, so he's gonna just one-shot everyone. I get clowned on here. I thought that was the real one. Yeah, the Ocean Drake does not matter for me. I thought that dagger was going to me, so I was willing to Sonya's it. I see Thresh is spawning soon. I know Warwick's up, so I'm just willing to concede the Yasuo as a sacrifice.
What happens next, I get to decide.
At this point, I'm very, very nervous. I'm 16-4-5, and we somehow didn't end the game there. So we're just going to take our recall, sell our boots, get Cosmic Drive, get a potion, and we are 1120 AP.
Easy.
This is a number that you will probably never see, because I don't know why, but the items this season are so much harder to get 1000 AP on. Yeah, here I'm just talking to my team. I say one fight and we win, or like one ace we win. And my team wants to fight before Elder. I'm all for it. Yeah, we are all spam pinging because this is now a Valorant match. For those that don't play Valorant, you just watch corners, and once you have Vandal or Phantom, you just click the head and it's an insta-kill. And this is how the game is going. It's just one pull of the trigger and it's an insta-kill for either team. Either the enemy team CC chains me or I land enough needles on the enemy team. Then at this point, I see that no matter what, we're not really going to get into the base. So I'm willing to take the tier 2 here and then look for the Pantheon. Thankfully, my Ahri blocks that for me. I missed the Q there, but does not matter. And that was the biggest threat, because Warwick R is just very unreactable, especially when you don't have Flash. Pantheon's going to W a minion due to the fact we used RW on the tower taking. We're gonna kill that inhibitor as well. And I'm just waiting for my W. I'm waiting for my R. I know this game is over, but I want to be as safe as possible. Pantheon's going to dive into our backline. Get absolutely nothing. Look for the rise. Get the rise. Lulu's going to tank the hook for me. And we're going to run down the Smolder as best as we can. And that is finally the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a crazy, crazy game. It felt so dire ever since minute 1. Like, ever since that mid lane gank, but we finally end it at the 35-minute mark. Also, sorry again if this was a little bit under par for my voiceovers. I am still trying to get better from when I was sick, but man, what a game. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys see the end screen here. Peace out.
Just like the good old times. Sweet, simple, and out of